Let me get my green screen set up. I forgot to set it before I started. Sorry, everybody. It'll just take me a few seconds to scroll through my phone and find the picture that I want to put up for today. I want to put up Nancy's house. There we go. Sorry about that. Hey, Jane Rice. Yeah, I forgot to set my green screen. I knew there was something. Hey, Horsey. How are you? I'm just setting up the screen behind me. There's not a lot of new news to report today, but there is one story I want to talk to you about, but there's something else that we need to talk about regarding this case that's really important because there's a lot of false information that's going on out there. Let me set up a goal really quickly here. I didn't sleep very well last night. I had an emoji issue until 3 a.m. I'll explain further in a minute. Okay, just getting the chat set up so I can see it behind me. Oh, there it went. Sending me to a furniture ad right now. There we go. Let me set live chat. Hey, sitting in the hospital. I'm sorry, Horsey. Nanette, welcome in. Rita Close, hello. Jewel Giacana. Hey, Kathy, X50. We got like 4 Kathys now, so it's crazy. All the Kathys, the Susans, the Karens, and the Kellys. Okay. My own YouTube on the desktop is showing me 3 intro videos, like ads, but I don't see it on the phone. But I do get paid for the ads, so I kind of let them. I try to get them to play through. I only ever have met one April Horsey Love besides myself. I was trying to sell me a wood TV stand here. Like, okay, need to see bigger ads than that. I've also got my iPad out here because I can't see my phone screen, obviously. And if I scroll on Facebook during the live, I'll lose my screen where I can see a lot of things because there's only like 4 or 5 messages at a time that show up on the screen that I'm recording on. We got 20 people in here. Let me introduce myself. I'm April Davis, PI. I'm a California licensed PI. I have been reporting on the Nancy Guthrie case since the beginning, and it's day number 139. There's not a whole lot of information that's coming in. I do have, let me grab it, of course. It's still on my printer. There's an article that came out. Let's see, I just printed it. Okay, I've got that printed out to read to you guys in just a moment. But we need to cover something here. Hey, Hemi or Hemi, I got your super thanks on that video. And thank you so much because even though I've received several hundred super chats, I've only ever received 4 super thanks on a video that posted, like later. Thank you. That means the world to me. I was so excited when I got that notification. Nanette says you're in San Diego. Best weather on the planet. Okay. There's something I need to clear up here. And, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but you have to realize that what I do for a living is a very odd profession. There are not a whole lot of licensed private investigators in the world. In fact, when I meet clients or just people in the general population that'll meet me through a friend or at a party, or even though I haven't been to a party in decades, they'll come up to me and they'll be like, want to shake my hand, and they'll be like, wow, I never met a PI before. And they often, even some of my actor friends who, can maybe play an investigator or a cop on TV, they have no clue. They don't understand that we have to have a professional license, a business license, up to $5 million in insurance. Many of us have guard cards, exposed weapons permits, private patrol operators licenses, weapons training cards. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. Continuing education for some of us. There's a lot that's involved, and it's nothing like you see on TV. There's this Facebook page that I signed up to fairly recently called Nancy Guthrie Updates. I wouldn't suggest that anybody look at it. There's more misinformation on this site than anything that I've ever read in my life on the internet. Thank you, Hemi. I really appreciate that. This is shocking. I don't know this person. I assume it's a woman by the spelling of her first name, Terry Valco. Terry, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to call you out here because there's going to be a lot of people, including people that are more educated than I am, as far as how much college they have, that are going to read this and they're going to fall for it. And she writes, private investigators versus law enforcement. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I almost fell out of my chair when I read this BS. She said, private investigators have freedoms that law enforcement doesn't. They can knock on doors without a warrant, follow speculative leads, talk to people informally, and chase tips across state lines without the same paperwork or thresholds of probable cause. Law enforcement, on the other hand, can execute warrants, subpoena records. Well, so can I. I've subpoenaed thousands of records. Make arrests. Yep, done that too. And access protected databases that PIs cannot. Sometimes, but not all. I mean, everything she has written is misinformation. This is why PIs like Bill Garcia, who she spells as Bell Garcia, I think she's talking about Bill, can explore angles quietly and pass credible information to detectives when police must stay within strict legal boundaries and avoid naming anyone publicly until they are ready to act. That's the dumbest effing thing I've ever heard in my life. Now, she mentions this Bill Garcia. I have never met him. I have since looked up that he is a licensed PI in California, or so he claims he's licensed. I haven't checked it with BSIS, but this isn't about Bill Garcia. But this is who she's trying to talk about. I'll get to the chat in just a minute, people. She says, Bill Garcia, in an interview with reporter Ann Emerson on Criminally Obsessed podcast titled Nancy Guthrie Latest. And see, now this is getting out on YouTube. Why private investigator thinks she's still in Arizona, stated he was recently in Tucson in connection with the Nancy Guthrie case and will be returning again soon. He was boots on the ground for 6 days, reviewed people, searched, etc. Blah, 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 blah. I almost fell out of my chair. I know that he was in Arizona. I've seen the interview that he did twice. I have no problem with Bill Garcia. This isn't about Bill Garcia. But you know what? Everything that she just stated is wrong. And I just need to get this out here. I hope they leave a message. Stringer, hello, weird wig, no problem. Hello, Mrs. Alaskan Assassin. Sandra Cosby came back, thank you. Couldn't believe that site, it's garbage. Now listen here, and this is what I wrote back, and this is just burns my ass because I have busted my ass for 35 full-time years, did a little part-time work until they finally declared me disabled. I still have my license. I still have my professional license, my business license. I don't carry my policy right now because I'm not doing any active investigations. I still have my guard card. I've already surrendered my RPS rights, although I still have the right to do it, but only up to 10 a year because I'm too disabled to go out with a cane chasing people down and knocking on doors, okay? So I don't need my RPS card. If perhaps someone called and asked me for that, one of my licensed independent contractors would handle that for me. But listen to what I said. As a licensed and insured PI, well, formally insured, I can tell you that PIs cannot legally cross state lines to chase after leads or tips, as she claims, without a license in each state to do so, unless this state has an agreement with the state you are licensed in. And even then, you better call ahead of time. Sometimes you can apply for a temporary license if needed. True. This is per me, because I know. This is rare. When or where are you getting your information, Terry? Also, we have some of the same databases, but not all that law enforcement has, including the DMV. Yeah, do you know any other civilians that just can willy nilly connect to the DMV? I can. I can even connect to the DMV in about 30 other states. Uh, that's something a cop can do. We share some of the same information databases. Now, do we have Department of Justice, CICU, or what is it called? No, do not have that. We can also execute an arrest, such as a citizen's arrest, or I can use my guard card to do so because I have my powers to arrest card. I mean, it's in my wallet right now, but even without it, I could effect an arrest if I had to. I've seen it happen on cases that I've worked for other companies where they hook somebody up, the LAPD comes down, they pick them up, they process them at the station, they then take the sheriff's bus to downtown LA, and then because it's a celebrity client, there's swift justice, like 2 weeks, they go to trial, they're convicted of multiple felonies, do not pass go, do not collect $200, and they go to prison for years. Uh, my companies have made uh, the front page of the LA Times twice on people where we've done that too. So I said that we can do an arrest. It's not often, but it happens. I have also conducted federal raids multiple times with the feds. Yes, I have. I'm pretty sure a licensed PI or law enforcement officer did not make this ignorant Facebook post. Please educate yourself. People, be careful what you read on Facebook. That's what I'm trying to educate my audience today. If just one person sees this and they're educated from this, then me, getting upset and raising my blood pressure was worth it. Then someone named Patty Shin, she goes, Bill Garcia mentioned he was licensed. I wrote back, Patty, I am not asking if he is licensed or where. I am simply responding to a comment about PIs legally being able to cross state lines. This has nothing to do with Bill Garcia. She then writes back, I wasn't thinking that. I thought it was interesting that you have to be licensed in each state that you work. Absolutely. Now, there is an exception called, and it's hard for me to pronounce this word, reciprocity. California has 5 states. I can name them because I have to know this. Okay. Oregon, Florida, Louisiana, Georgia, and most recently North Carolina. But it's limited reciprocity. So if somebody from one of those states wants to come into our state, they have to have written permission in advance. If you go into any of these other states, like from California, especially like Nevada, you're getting arrested at state line, and then you're going to be serving jail and or prison time in Nevada, and then Nevada is going to report you to California, and California is going to strip you of your PI license forever. Do you know how many PIs across the United States have lost their PI licenses because they illegally crossed into Colorado during the beginning of the JonBenet Ramsey case? Too many for me to count. A lot of them, former law enforcement, because former law enforcement is just that. They're retired or former law enforcement. They are not trained as private investigators, and they do stupid things sometimes, not maybe intentionally, but because they didn't know any better. And so thank God they've got their pension from whatever department or agency they work for, because those are the kind of people that are the first to go down. Now, this Patty writes back, April, that's really interesting. Now, then this woman, what a moron. I'm sorry, you're a moron, Terry. She says, Patty Shin, I did add a PS to the bottom of my post to clear up about crossing state lines. I guess he took it to a different way. Who's he? Took it to a different way, so I explained it better. Then she wrote me. I put a PS at the bottom of my post because April didn't quite understand what I meant due to me not explaining it well. My post is accurate, and I added my sources and more info on crossing state lines. Well, let's go to your PS, Terry. Let's see what lovely misinformation you have led your followers to believe in. Private investigators can cross state lines to follow leads or continue surveillance or interview witnesses. Their license doesn't carry into other states, but travel itself is legal and common in the industry. It may be common, but it's a felony. Okay. What they can't do is start a new investigation in a state where they aren't licensed. My information comes from professional, listen to this, professional PI sources like Eldorado Insurance, Martin Investigative Services. Never heard of them. I've been around for 42 years. I have never heard of them. And don't even know who this is. Diligentia Group? What the F does that even mean? Is that a database company? Never heard of them. It's not true. It's not true. Okay. Uh, and then I wrote one more post. I responded to her and I said, Terry, once again, you are providing false, misleading information, basically to her sheep. As a PI, we cannot cross state lines, even in an active pursuit that has initiated in our state, unless we have an agreement ahead of time with that state. PIs face severe criminal charges for doing so. Your sources are wrong. Everybody, don't believe what you see on TV or in the movies about PIs, and don't believe anything that you read on the internet. You know, I may suck at everything else, including YouTube, because it's taken, what, 5 years and almost 6 months now, and I still haven't even made the broke even point. I am a miserable failure on YouTube. But there's one thing that I was born to do, even though this was not my chosen profession, and that is to be a detective. And I have all my ducks in a row, because if I don't, I could go to jail, I could get sued. Uh, she makes it about Bill. It has nothing to do with Bill. I never met Bill. I saw the interview, seems like a nice guy. But you know what? Maybe Bill called up in advance and went ringy dingy dingy. I know I don't have a license there, or maybe he does. I had a license in Arizona once. I never used it. He could have an Arizona PI license. He could have called Arizona to get temporary permission. I worked for a company back in the day, and we had, I can't say the name because it wasn't my company. Even if it was my company, I can't say the name. But we worked for the biggest people in the industry. And back in the 90s, we had this huge, I mean, huge movie star. Like everybody, we had lots of them. Everybody here would know who she is. She had to go off to New Jersey to do a movie with another big famous person that I've met. And I talked to the boss of the company because he was an ex cop from Torrance. You know, what does an ex-cop from Torrance know? And I said, before you cross into New Jersey, or your people, your employees, you better contact New Jersey. And not only did they require him to get a temporary PPO, which whatever they, PPO in California means private patrol operator. They probably call it something different in New Jersey, but he had to get that. And just to cover his behind, he had to get a temporary PI license. Okay, then they had to have the names, ranks, and serial numbers of every employee that he was sending on the scene. And it takes, months to get this. And they had to push it to get it fast, because they were going to have to tell Paramount Pictures, like, we can't go and protect, the biggest movie star on the planet right now, because we don't have a license to do so. And then it made him think, because we had another client that, lived at the top of the mountain on the Palisades with, one of the best properties in Los Angeles. And, because he's a billionaire, he has houses like, all over the world. But his second primary residence was in New York. Actually, had two residences in New York, one in the city and one out at the very tip of Long Island. And he started thinking, like, I wonder if we're like breaking the law when we go into New York. And I was like, yes, you are. They then went to the money and they had to get a PI license, whatever their version of PPO is there, and insurance. And, they weren't making a lot of money off that billionaire. He had the cheapest rates in town as far as what he was willing to pay. I educated that guy. I saved that guy's bacon many, 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 many times. You have to be licensed. And in California, I'll tell you again, if you didn't hear me the first time, and apparently this bill is licensed in California. Now, maybe he's also licensed in Arizona. I don't know. I don't care. This isn't about him. But we have partial reciprocity, if I'm pronouncing that right, with Oregon, Georgia, Louisiana, Florida, and now North Carolina. And I cannot tell you, including people that I know personally who are friends of mine, who say, oh, no, 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 no. But if you're on a surveillance and it initiates in California, you can continue the pursuit. Ah, they will be sitting on state line waiting for you in Nevada if you do that and the word gets out. And people go, oh, you won't get caught. People do it all the time. I've never done it. I'll have my guys go ringy dingy from the field like, April, you're not going to believe this. We're on the 15 North and we might be headed towards Las Vegas. What do we do? And every time I got a call like that, and I'm like, you make sure you tell everybody on the team that you pull over in Prim, which is formerly known as State Line, Nevada. Now they call it Prim. You drive up into the parking lot at Whiskey Pete's. I'll pay for a hot dog, a Coke, and you go put $1 in the big giant slot machine that has the big handle on it, like the old game show. If you're old enough to remember Joker's Wild, they had the big giant slot machine. You know, you put $1 in that for me. I'll pay for the hot dog and the Coke and the dollar. I'll reimburse you. And then after you've had your pee break, your hot dog, your Coke, and you put $1 into that slot machine for me, then you make a U-turn and you head back into California. But you do not continue the pursuit. No matter what, no matter how big this fish is, unless we can get someone who can be parked on the side of the 15 and take over the pursuit. Excuse me, I'm drinking a Canada Dry. At the very moment that you cross and there's already somebody sitting there on the side of the freeway, that guy's gone. And I don't care if he is lost until oblivion and we never see him again. You do not cross state lines. I was on one out in Riverside County in the middle of nowhere, about 20 minutes, maybe 20 minutes to the west of Palm Springs. One of the biggest cases I ever worked. I was hoping to make $1,000. I made enough money off the case to buy myself a brand new Mustang. That was my first of 3. That case paid for my Mustang. Traded in my truck, bought a brand new Mustang. Had a very small payment on it. Follow this this felon passed through Palm Springs. There was a billboard on the side of the highway that said California Pizza Kitchen. Next exit, stop now. Next stop, Phoenix. And I was like, Phoenix? Oh no. If they don't take the next exit, I am screwed. And I will have to follow them all the way to the border between California and Arizona. And then I will have to stop. And they're going to be so upset. Now, luckily, she went a couple more exits and got off. Oh my God. My heart was like, I'm not going to Arizona today. And I wouldn't have been able to do it because I am not a criminal. Now, this has nothing to do with Bill. I don't know what his licensing is. I hear it's California. He could have multiple. He could have received temporary permission. This is not about Bill Garcia. If I met him, I'd give him a pat on the back for doing what he's doing on the Nancy Guthrie case. But I'll tell you right now, for these yahoos that think they are armchair detectives and they know the laws and they're posting on Facebook that have about 1 billion users, if you are one of these sheep, hopefully I have educated you today. You may want to stay away from the Nancy Guthrie updates page. Just saying. Let me see who I've missed. Uh, crazy, crazy. I mean, how? And even when I tried to educate them, they were like, "Oh no, I've talked to Eldorado Insurance." I don't think Eldorado Insurance has a PI license. They're an insurance company. I am kind to the cops. Absolutely, always. Can you write tickets for people using handicap spaces who don't have proper placards? I can't because I'm not law enforcement or parking enforcement. I wish I could. I'd be rich if I could do that. AJ Leadfried, do you like Garth Brooks? That has nothing to do with the Nancy Guthrie case. Brian, hey, welcome back. That burns my butt. Mine too, can't you tell? I hate when people do that. And she still thinks she's right. Now, I would doubt that this lady is a PI. She could be former law enforcement who's just misinformed and she doesn't know any better, but I doubt it. Hello, very good, Wisconsin. I thought they were still investigating in New Mexico and Mexico. So, did you find anything new about Nancy? I have one report to talk about. Nanette, that's great question, Horsey. I never lately, so people are parking. Okay, let me move on from that. And yes, it's a big problem in California. Let's see. Terry doesn't know what she's dealing with. Other people are not. It is. I'm just a little hyped up right now, Barbara. I'm calming down. This will be short. I didn't sleep well last night. I had an emoji nightmare going on last night. For all the new members that came in yesterday, whether I gifted you or one of my new members that got a free gift, then gifted 5 people, Roger Forever 777, he threw out a free membership and it somehow went to himself, which I thought was incredible. I never saw that happen when he put it in the random generator and he awarded himself. He paid for it, but he was trying to award one to the chat and it just came back on him. And then a couple other people joined. And so that put me over the threshold. And I already had, let me look at my desktop here. I had a bunch of emojis ready to go, the new ones, because, YouTube was like, okay, you have 4, but if you reach this amount of subscribers, or not subscribers, but members, you can add 5 more for a total of 9. And I did it very late last night. And I already had the artwork pre-drawn up, but the system went, you don't have them ratioed to 1 by 1. And I'm like, what does that mean? So then I had to start resizing everything and it still didn't work. And then it would take all my other ones down. So I was up until 3 a.m. I have not hardly had any sleep just to add, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have a total of 9 now. So if you are a member and you're in here right now, that would be someone like Horsey. She has a star next to her name, but I know you're in the hospital. If any other members are in here right now, you can type something in the chat. I wish Kathy Mowry was here because she came in yesterday. There you are, Kathy. Thank you for coming in. Kathy, she's sort of my uninformal or uninformal. That's not even a word. She's sort of my informal mod. Kathy, can you type the emojis into the chat and show everybody? Hey, Blue Cats. I'm doing okay. Hello, Susan M. You know what, Susan M? I still haven't heard back from the other address that the YouTube rep sent me to. And that other address is for people that have purchased things on Google that have issues. I haven't purchased anything. You purchased something. I'm trying to receive it. It's been 2 days now, almost 3. Make sure you call and cancel that charge with Google or with your credit card company. They're not going to get back to me on that, even though I can prove that you sent it. So, Kathy Doherty, welcome in. Yes, Blue Cats, let me answer that. We have. In fact, did anybody see the Today Show today? She may already be back in New York. She was here for production meetings on her new show that will, at least from what I've been hearing, is supposed to film in England. I forget which town. It's not London, somewhere outside of London, where they're going to film Wordle. She was here down the street from my house at NBC. Because NBC is at Universal now. They're not at the NBC in Burbank anymore. They're at Universal because it's NBC Universal now. So all their production offices are down the street. So she just visited The Voice to see Carson and took a picture in the chair. I've worked gigs on that show. I've never been on that show. I don't even watch it. But she was here for production meetings about the upcoming show that she's going to tape called Wordle. And I was like, I should learn what this is. And apparently it comes out once a day by the New York Times. And I tried it and I was like, I couldn't even do it. It was like, and I'm very good with puzzles. I was like, I need to learn what this is. And I will definitely watch that show because, you know, I am ignorant when it comes to Wordle. I'm like, what is this? How do I play? Lydia, welcome in. Oh, you said it was boring? Oh, well, you know what? We don't want any negativity in here today. Rose Margaret, hello. uh, well, we're doing the best we can on day number 139. You got to stay here until we talk about it. Barbara, hello. Rose Whittingham, hey, from Virginia. I'm in California. Lori Smith, as an RN for over 40 years, about 20 years ago, lobbied for multi-stage licensing. Now you can practice in 40 states on this license. Maybe you or your organization could do this for PIs too. We have limited reciprocity, if I'm pronouncing that right, between California, Oregon, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, and more recently, North Carolina. Our former president, who was, Frank Huntington. Is that right? I just went blank on his name. He's in my phone. Because the current president of Cali is Roberto Rivera, but Frank Huntington tried to get Arizona added to our list, and the BSIS, which is the Bureau of Security and Investigative Services, who manages and issues all my state licensing, they shot it down. And it was funny because one of the PIs, I put something up on the Cali listserv today, and the first PI that answered me said, there are 6 states in Arizona. I was just like, I didn't say that he was, ignorant like this person, but I was like, oh, Arizona, when did that happen? I haven't heard about that yet. So far, he hasn't been able to write me back because it's not true. Now, could Bill go into Arizona? If he's licensed there or if Arizona gave him permission, sure. But I don't care what another PI does or doesn't do, or who follows the law or doesn't follow the law. I don't know what his situation is. I'm not here to judge the guy. He's a well-known PI. I'll pat him on the back for, trying to find Nancy. That's what this is about. But I'm just telling these yahoos on Facebook or trying to inform my audience that if you are subscribed to any of these Nancy Guthrie Facebook pages, be very, very careful. Kathy, thank you so much. What would I do without you? There's the female detective. There's Amelia Kinsley Bunny with her big ears. Those ears are exactly hers. There is Kelsa Kitty. There's the happy emoji. That is a film camera, which didn't show up so well. I see YouTube didn't show up so well. I just see the tube part. I can't even read the U behind my shoulder. Yep, it didn't show up well. That wasn't one that I had chosen. Baseball, the palm tree, and a little, 4th of July emoji. I'll probably add like Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas once I have enough members. They tell me that I need one more member to be able to put 10 up there. Now it's gone from 4 to 9, and I guess the next number is 10. The ones I wanted to put up, they said that they weren't 1-by-1 ratio size and they couldn't resize them. So I'm going to have to look into, like this one. I'm glad you showed it on the screen, Kathy, because I was unable to see it on a screen like this to be able to see, but that's supposed to say YouTube. And I just see the little tube. I don't see the U. So that one's probably going to have to be fixed. I had one that was like, share, subscribe, or like, subscribe, or like, share. And there was 2 different ones with a thumbs up. It was red. And then I tried the one that was blue. and both of them were rejected for not being 1-by-1 ratio. So yeah, I'm just trying to catch up on a little housekeeping here. If you are a member or you want to be a member, these are the custom emojis thus far that I am putting out to you. I had one that was the Hollywood sign that was gorgeous. They rejected it. I wanted to use one for the LA Dodgers, but those are all they're copyrighted, so I couldn't do that. Barbara is from Connecticut. Lori Smith. Oh my God, I got to find the hype button just for you, Lori. First super chat of the day. Let's see. Yeah, you don't have to even chat to post them. You just have to be a member. Now, a new viewer came in here yesterday, Sandra Cosby, and she's been rewatching a ton of videos since she came in here. She's a brand new subscriber. And thank you for doing all the replays on the videos. She wrote to me, she goes, "Oh, I'm a member." And I checked thinking maybe she joined uh, the membership after the video went off the air. And I checked and no, so I wrote back to her and I explained that, Sandra, you are a subscriber, but the membership, that's a separate thing. So some people got confused and they're like, well, I'm subscribed. How come I can't access those? Because you're not a member. Uh, Suzanne 8264, hello. Stacks, hey, welcome in. Suzanne sent a chili. I must have turned my head. I missed it. I am sorry, Suzanne. Thank you for the chili. Horsey Love. Okay, she put them up. Yeah, the last one next to the palm tree where it's got the little tube, they're supposed to be, it says YouTube, but let me put my hand up. So you can barely see the U because of the green screen. So yeah, that'll have to be repaired. The one I wanted was a like share with a thumbs up, and it was a box, like a square box. But even if I tried to manually resize it, it kept saying, reject, reject, reject. Um, yeah, but I shouldn't have been up till 3 a.m., especially because I did these new emojis, the extra five, I did them days ago. And one was that like share button. The other one was the Hollywood sign. And you can only use up to 9 characters to describe them. And they can't have spaces. Spaces are considered illegal characters because I have to name them. Detective, uh, bunny, cat. I tried to say movie camera. It wouldn't take that. So I had to say camera. Baseball. I was able to put that up. And I was like, well, yeah, it was 8 letters. It has to be under 9 letters or under. Um, the happy emoji. If I typed happy space emoji, it wouldn't let me do that. So I just had to write happy. Um, palm tree. That's 2 words. Wouldn't let me do that. But if I combine them and said palm tree, and I had to do the palm tree 3 different emojis to get this one to stick because the other ones they were like, no, they're not 1-by-1 ratio. But I'm glad you guys are putting them up because now I can see that the one that says YouTube is kind of hard to see. But it's all I got for now. But I have thought about, I'm thinking ahead because remember, after July 4th, which is less than 2 weeks away, our CVS's, and I'm not kidding you, our CVS's will already have the Halloween items in the store. So I'll start planning some fall ones. But thank you, Weird Wake, who says they are so cute. Wordle is a game and it's boring. I tried it last night from bed after I was exhausted and I had no idea what I was doing. But see, now as a detective, especially if Savannah's involved in this, I want to figure it out. Welcome, Rose Margaret. Carson Triple C, where are you coming in from? I played it when it first came out. I don't like it. I didn't like it last night. This is hard. And my heart wasn't beating right in the last 3 years. And so I could have brain damage. It was very hard for me. I wonder if Savannah knows something we don't. It's funny you should bring that up. Hello, Miss Pittsburgh. Let me just try to catch up in the chat. MVU MV. You're welcome. Thanks for hosting this positive channel. Let's see. Let me keep going. You guys are talking amongst yourselves. I love that. Let me just try to catch up. uh, did I get your message? Not that I know of, Barbara. Uh, Nanette. Okay, let me keep going. Let's see. Wow, you guys are talking a lot. Wow, it just keeps going. Okay, here we go. One of my favorite people, not really, Jennifer Coffindoffer, she's at it again. But let me think I could turn my ring light towards me. Seems kind of dark in here all of a sudden. It's kind of cloudy today in LA. So I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. I don't always agree with her, but I'm kind of thinking along the same lines as to why this might be, because she wants to know if this case is this far into it, how come the authorities haven't released more video evidence, which I'm sure they have, of front porch guy. And it may be, and I've been thinking this for months now, that they already know who they're waiting to arrest, but they're just hoping, they're on a hope and a prayer, they're thinking that maybe that rootless hair is going to match somebody that they have in mind. But I think there's a very small chance of that happening. And I can't exactly tell you why, but here's what it says. What to know. And this is regarding Nancy Guthrie. 42 minutes into this, we can talk about Nancy Guthrie. Retired FBI agent Jennifer Coffindoffer questioned why law enforcement has not released an enhanced image of the masked suspect. That's a very good question. Coffindoffer speculates that authorities may already know the identity of Porch Guy. I hope so. I am praying that they already know. And that's why they're not looking for Nancy, although I think that's apples and oranges. They should still be looking for her. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos previously explained that the investigation is prolonged due to his reliance on lab analysis. Well, whose fault is that for sending the hair to the wrong lab that didn't have the capability of identifying DNA through a rootless hair sample? Oh my God. And that shouldn't be ignorance on his part. That's just moronic on his part. On Thursday, June 18th, retired FBI agent Jennifer Coffindoffer, who has been following the case from the start, took to X. Well, I don't really follow X anymore, to ask pertinent questions about the investigation. Most notably, Coffindoffer asked why the police or the FBI haven't released the enhanced photo of the masked man caught on camera outside Nancy's property. Nancy, the 84-year-old mother of today's Savannah Guthrie, has been missing since February 1st, when police believe she was abducted from her home in Tucson, Arizona. Investigators have released doorbell camera footage of a masked suspect and sent DNA for testing at the FBI lab in Quantico, but no suspects have been named. Law enforcement and the FBI are making no sense, Coffindoffer wrote. Where is the enhanced photo of Porch Guy? It exists. Why not share it with the public for their help? Respect importance. Coming in with the $2 super chat. And I better heart that on my desktop rather than do that on the screen, because we don't want any super chats to disappear. I just caught Lori's too, but I already gave her a horn. So thank you, Respect Importance. Everybody, make sure you guys thumbs up Respect Importance and Lori Smith's super chat. Now, Jennifer also questioned the billboards featuring Nancy's photo. Why is Nancy's face on them? Well, they kind of should be, since we're looking for Nancy. Put Porch Guy's face. Well, yeah, put them both. Put her face and Porch Guy's face together, like I do on a lot of my thumbnails. Put Porch Guy's face and add Spanish if you want more of the public's help, Coffindoffer said, before adding, or do you know who Porch Guy is? Possibly. I hope so. Hey, Jay. Coffendorfer continued to push the theory that law enforcement already knows the masked man's identity, highlighting the lack of public information about the investigation. Nothing on any traffic or ring nest cams to distribute after 4 months? Nothing? It is unfortunately possible, she wrote. Finally, 0 searches since day 2. Why? Why could it hurt? Exactly. If they could find a body, that would be the number one piece of evidence. No contact with Mexican authorities from the beginning. Remember? She concluded either that law enforcement knows who is responsible or the ball has been dropped. You think so? 25 years in the FBI tells me they must have an idea of who is behind this. If this is not the case, then let the public help. Now, you know what? I don't usually agree with her, but I have to agree with every word of this. What do you guys think? Do you think that law enforcement already has a suspect in mind and they're just waiting on some of this more DNA evidence? Or do they not have a clue? Type it into the chat. Yes, law enforcement already has a suspect, or no, they don't. It's funny. I asked this yesterday on my channel because so many people came into my video, and so many people have typed that into the comment section after the fact. And I'm wondering, like, do they realize that we're not live anymore? But yes, Mrs. Pittsburgh or Miss Pittsburgh says yes. Kathy X50 says yes. I think it's highly probable. Rose Margaret says yes. Hello, Donna. Is it Donna Pate or Donna Pate? Donna Pate. FBI may know. I think they might too. In fact, the FBI agent that I consulted with, who's retired and not working this case in any way, as I am not either, said it's very possible that they know a lot more than what we know. And I thought that us, the public, we only know 5 to 10%. He said it's more like 15 to 20%. But he's only been watching, he only watched this case or followed this case for the first month. And now he's like, I don't even know the family. I don't know what's going on. This is sad, says Martha Hale. Jules says law enforcement has a suspect. And I agree with Jay when she says the FBI may know. They may know. So in case you weren't here at the beginning, I made a big speech about um, don't believe everything you read on Facebook about this case, especially under the Nancy Guthrie updates page. The majority of the time, the information on that page is highly inaccurate. Suzanne sent the sparkles. This time I caught it. Thank you, Suzanne. Oh, wow. Respect importance. Yeah, if you haven't seen that video, especially since the monetization was turned off, go watch it now. After the Flying Man episode the other day, I saw some stuff about a character creation called Mothman. Yeah, this one was a little different. This guy, instead of saying Jetpack Man, she said he looked like either a parachuter or he was wearing a giant wing, like a wingsuit. That could be Mothman. Uh, yeah, and and Jay sent me a link. If you're still here, Jay, you sent me a link. I've seen that article because one of the pictures that one of the pilots got looked like a Jack Skellington balloon, but many of these other sightings have not looked like a Jack Skellington balloon. That was just one of the possibilities that I believe it was the FBI came up with that. Like, oh, these are all Jack Skellington balloons. No, balloons don't fly that fast, and they float. They don't fly. This is something that has navigation. But what that is, we still don't know. And I think it's so weird that there's 10 to 12 million people in LA County, probably closer to 12 million now, and people aren't making a big deal about that story. When you've got, people that look like they're wearing jetpacks or wingsuits, flying in the path of incoming aircraft coming into LAX. But yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Respect importance. Thank you so much. Oh, you know what? I just noticed something too. I have received 2 super chats today. Make sure they're still here. Yes, I have. Respect Importance and Lori Smith. And the goal button says 0. And the goal is still ticking. It's got 11 minutes left. That is a YouTube issue. Now, I will heart them on the desktop, but I will no longer try to hit that thumbs up button on my screen because that's what I did with Susan M's. I tried to hit the thumbs up on the screen and it said that I deleted the message. I can't do that on a super chat, nor can I delete a super chat. I could put a user in timeout, but I can't just delete a super chat. And the user wasn't timed out. So YouTube is definitely glitching. And I know now that it's not about the money, but it's the principle of it, so that they are aware that they had this problem. It's only ever happened one time, um, only once. And I don't want that user who sent it to be scared to use that button if she desires to do so because of, a glitch. But I could see how a person would be turned off by that and say, you know what, F it, I'm never going to send anything again because, you know, she feels bad about it. And don't feel bad about it, Sue M. It wasn't your fault. I'm just trying to let um, YouTube know, Google know. They've both been contacted now. Remember, I had the double charge for the stickers on my credit card. That still hasn't been straightened out. And then when I tried to pay my bill last night, I found out that one of my PI vendors that I'm still a member of, that I pay monthly to, that they sent me a double bill. So I'm like, how did this all happen in one day? That I lost a super chat and I got double charged for stickers that I never ordered, and it's almost $100 worth. And they claimed that they'd given me a refund for one of them, but it'll take 7 to 10 business days to show up, and there's no record that it's showing up. And they're claiming that I can get a refund on the second one if I send them the order back. But the problem is the order hasn't been sent to me. So I'm still, I'm still almost $100 short on that. I still have to pay the credit card on that so that I don't get hit with an interest payment, even though I never spent the money and don't have any product. Uh, and then to find out one of my own vendors said, "Oh, we're just going to double your bill from 1040 or 1020 to 2040." All on the same day. People, check your credit card and your bank statements. Respect. This should make it move. Well, now it says 1, but there's been 3. I don't know what you did, Respect, but now it says that there's 1 out of 10. And you've sent 2, and Lori Smith sent 1. I have no clue. And I never set a minimum. Like, because they're like, do a minimum of $5 or $10 or $15. And no, I always say, accept all colors. But it could be something like that because they were under $5, even though I say accept all colors, if somebody wants to send 99 cents, I'll take it. If somebody wants to send me right now, I have 4 pennies and jewels, I'll take it. Um, uh, well, speaking of that MView MV, and is MView short for Mountain View or is it just MView MV? I do have other options. You just need to go to the main channel page. Not only will you see my cancer GoFundMe that's still up because I'm still dealing with medical bills from that, but you'll see my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal, and thanks to one of my former mods, I have the Amazon wishlist store. Um, I have all those options listed. I even have my mailing address listed in view because occasionally I'll get some Yahoo that'll come in here and say they want to send me $200, and I'll be like, okay, I'm waiting for it. You can send me the box of cash. I have a video about that, about a box of cash. So yeah, you just have to go to the A membership does more for the channel. You can still do the super chats. Oh, well, the super chats actually do more for me, Kathy. So I understand what you're trying to say, but maybe you can retract that message because if it weren't for the super chats, I wouldn't still be here because I have made not enough money on the memberships to even receive a check each month. Okay, thank you. Yeah, please don't tell people to delete or don't send the I mean, if you want to be a membership, that helps tremendously. But it helps this much where a super chat helps this much. And last night, Hemi, who was in here earlier, was it Hemi or Hemi, sent me a super thanks. And I've only ever received 4. And 2 of them were from a friend of mine. That was it. And 2 other people have sent, and none of them have been more than $2. They've all been like, I think they've all been $1.99 to $2 and appreciated. But yeah, Arizona Desert Walker says, I love the Amazon wish list. I do too. In fact, I wish I could have gone to the mailbox today, but it is a federal holiday. They would probably still be open for FedEx and Amazon and DHL. But if I have a choice between today and tomorrow, especially since I didn't sleep well last night and I probably shouldn't be behind the wheel of a car, I thought it would just be safer for me to go tomorrow. Now, I hope they don't have limited hours because sometimes when there's a 3-day holiday weekend, like a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they'll just be closed early on Friday and then they'll, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they open on Tuesday. So we'll see tomorrow. Hopefully the store will be open and I can pick up. I got a couple of gifts sitting there, I think. See, I never get the notices. Like if you guys buy something on the wish list, unless you guys send me an email saying, "Hey, your gifts have been delivered," I have no way of knowing. And that reminds me, I have to put the cash in my purse for the pickup fees because sometimes I forget. And those are starting to add up, but I don't, the channel pays for it, so it doesn't bother me a bit. $5 to get you a full month. Yes, on the membership. $4.99 to be exact. Let me check I've got like another shirt under this shirt. This was from a buddy of mine on Whatnot, but it's hot. It's hot today now. Let me check my air. Just had to turn it down a notch. Thank you for letting me handle that. Good evening, V Miss. Welcome in, my friend. I'm glad I reminded you to pay your credit card. I haven't paid mine yet because wrote a little note to myself on my desk that says pay tomorrow. Tomorrow, that was as of last night, because I wanted to call one of my vendors who I thought might be closed today because it is a federal holiday, but somebody did answer the phone because now I have that double charge. I have 2 charges for 46 and change of stickers that I never approved or never paid for, and they somehow billed my shop app. They say they've already refunded me for one. It's not showing up on my credit card statement yet, and that when I get the stickers they've already printed, which I don't have, and I have no receipt for mailing that they're on their way. The only ones that are on their way is from a company in Miami, and that's a different company. Those are on the way. But these other ones where they're like, "Oh, when you get them, you can just, at my expense, send them back." I didn't order them. Uh, I might be willing to eat the postage if they'll give me the money back, but how can I send them back when they're not shipping? And of course, today there's a holiday, so nothing is updating in the postal system today. Um, Respect Importance said the super chats set for $5. Uh, yeah, I saw that. Uh, Pickup fees, that's because I have a commercial mail receiving agency, which is a PMB. It's not a post office box. It's a private store, and they have pickup fees. Uh, but not for the mail, but for the packages, which I understand, or people would just use it as storage. I don't have a credit card. I refuse to pay it at least 30% interest. Yeah, I just pay mine off monthly. And that's why I'm gonna have to pay this 46 and change twice, and I'm gonna have to pay the double fee, the 2 invoices when there was only 1, but I was charged for 2 on the database. And I think, what was it? It's some Peasly amount of money, which I wouldn't have seen until July 1st anyway. It was a $2 super chat, and it wasn't sent through an Apple device, so I won't have the 30% Apple fee. So it's $1.40. But I'm just trying to let YouTube know that they have a problem. Kathy Doherty, I use cash only. I hardly ever have cash. I have a little bit tucked away in case of an emergency. How can we help you, April? Just watch my videos. Now, if anybody comes today and buys a membership or gifts one to someone else, then I'll be able to put up a 10th emoji tonight. Now I've gone from 4 to 9. And those are not the free emojis that all of you guys that are chatting get from YouTube. Those are the custom emojis that come with a membership. And if Sandra's not here yet, she's a new member that came in yesterday and she was watching a ton of my videos last night and this morning and commenting. She said that she was a member, but she is not a member. She is a subscriber. She's a new subscriber, which I appreciate. You just go down to Kathy Mallory. Can you explain to Kathy Doherty where she can see the custom emojis? Because she does have a membership. And it shouldn't matter if you bought the membership or it was gifted to you. You should have the availability to see the custom emojis. So yeah, I'm going to have to pay all these erroneous credit card fees, or not fees, but charges. But then, once things start coming back into the account, that'll just go against next month's bill. I like to use it for the points because I need the points for grocery money. Well, wavy gravy. Goodbye again. Come back tomorrow. Thank you. Lacey, welcome in. Same old knuckleheads coming in every day. Got 53 people watching and 52 thumbs up. We've got 3 super chats, although only 1 is showing on the screen. Oh, well, see, now it says set another goal. Goal ended. I'm going to do it on the desktop and maybe. Because see, YouTube tries to default to light blue and higher, teal and higher, yellow and higher, orange and higher, magenta and higher, red and higher. Well, that's $100. I'm not going to do that. I'll just put it for 30 minutes because I'm not going to be on here much longer. I'll say all the colors. Oh, geez. Yeah, maybe they defaulted it to 5 and higher, and that's why the first 2 didn't show up. But I got them. So thank you, everybody. Yeah, but it really kind of burns me that YouTube is making me, fight and, go to all these secondary email addresses and send pictures. And, it's hard to send a picture of a deleted super chat when it deleted. And they send me to that's the area that the sender would have to go to say, hey, I sent a super chat and I got charged for it. And the user didn't get it, and then they could look into it. But if I send that to them, but see, that's where the tech reps are saying, you have to go now. Like, they don't know how to handle it. You have to go to Google. Thank you, Stacks. I hope you are subscribed. You can also set super chats for Jules and set it for 50. Hold on, let me remove the goal. Okay, we're just gonna just for craps and giggles. We did this once, twice. The second time it didn't work, but the first time it did. And we did it, and the first time we did it, Kathy Mowery came through, and our number one supporter, Sarat Null from Israel came in. We will do this, and we will allow all colors. That means anything from, I guess it depends on if you're on Apple or Android or desktop. And let's see. Let's just do this. Jewels are the little gift boxes at the bottom of your screen on vertical lives. They're instead of super stickers, they're jewels. And they're a penny each. Well, actually, there's 2 pennies for you. Like the minimum is 2, and I get a penny. If you send a 2-penny jewel, I get 1 ruby, which equals to 1 penny. But let me tell you, those pennies add up. You know what they say? A penny saved is a penny earned. So I disabled the goal and I sent another one. Let's just do it. Respect importance. You can also set super chats for jewels and set it for 50. We can't set super chats and jewels at the same time, but you can send either or. Donna, that's if you look at your screen, there'll be a little gift box. You're at 0. What's at 0? Thank you, Stacks, for subscribing. In fact, let me check the current number. So yeah, that's the only story I had today on Nancy. I know this is about Nancy, but we've had to talk about other things today. And no, this had nothing to do with Bill Garcia or the wonderful job he's doing out in Arizona. This is about um, ignorant people on Facebook that are posting misinformation. People think it's Magnum PI, that's what it's all about. 3434. Yeah, 3434. Yesterday I was started out at like 3383. I got about maybe 40 subs yesterday. I'll have to check. Oh, I like that, Kathy. She says, I am too, V. I would rather do super chats than buy jewels. Whatever you're comfortable with. And nobody's required to do anything. You guys just watching the videos and coming into the chats and, doing the replays and going to the video tabs and, you know, watching everything from the shorts to the videos to the lives, commenting in the chats or in the comment section after the fact. Although I think there's a few people um, that do make a lot of comments in the comment section after the video, and they get confused and they think I'm live because I get a lot of questions on the comments like, "Are you live? Are you live?" Even with the short highlights that they do now after the videos, they'll be like, "Oh, she's live again," and it's like, "No, you're watching a short highlight," or "No, you're watching a replay." But however you want to watch, wherever you want to chat or comment is fine. It all helps. Thank you, Donna. She says she watches the replay every night. I do too, just to see like the technical errors and if I have to take something down. Rose Margaret, I only come here, April, because you have a lot of experience and knowledge. I do. And I'm not trying to come across like I'm the best or I know it all, but this is what I know in my life. This is what even though I never was born to think I'm going to be a PI, I wanted to be a police officer. I wanted to be specifically a police detective in the narcotics unit. Bad eyes, disabled. My health has always been my greatest flaw in my life. I had problems the day I was born. I had problems in my childhood, and I just needed a simple surgery, which ended up being a major surgery when I was 19 to correct it. Then I was diagnosed with MSCF. Well, they call it ME/CFS now. In my 20s. In my 40s, I had, well, 30s, I only had one medical catastrophe, and I don't like to talk about it. It's too traumatic. In my 40s, that's when the blood pressure went. And in the 50s was the cancer, and then my heart problems. And here we are. And those heart problems is not because I didn't take care of myself. It's because of the the treatment that I received for the cancer. So in retrospect, or in hindsight, which is 20/20 vision, I should have had the mammograms way sooner than I did, and the cancer should have been detected in the early stages, which would probably have prevented the at least having to go through the red devil chemo, which would have saved my heart. So it's kind of my own fault, but you know, uh, and it was a hormone based breast cancer. So I basically got it because I'm a girl, you know, and I don't want to be a man because I wasn't born a man. I was born a girl. So I may not be a girly kind of girl, but I'm a girl. Now, maybe in a future lifetime, I can see how the other half lives. I probably wouldn't date anybody, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have to go through um, hormonal based breast cancer ever again for however many lifetimes I have to go until I finally can get it right. Uh, VMS says, I have been at work all day. Does anyone know what happened with some kind of threat to Alex, the streamer's daughter? I haven't heard about that. What is that, VMS? I did hear the more information. Somebody asked me about Savannah and why she was here, and now I have the exact reason. Please set a goal for 50 jewel gifts. Uh, okay, I'll try that. Let me cancel out this goal. Let me go back to on my desktop. Let's see. I'm going to close that. Removing the goal. Now I don't think I can set it because I disabled it. Oh, geez. Yep, we're gonna have to restart that goal. Once you disable it, you can't start the jewel goal. You can start the jewel goal if the live chat or the super chat goal expires. Then you can set it for super chats again or jewels. But once you cancel out of the system and say remove, it won't let me do that. So I'm back at 50. Let's see this. I have CFS. Boy, I'm right with you. Respect. Send a gift. What gift was that? The makeup brush. I've never seen that one. Thank you. Respect sent the GG. I haven't seen that one. I got a gold coin. Thank you, Respect. Uh, Respect sent the F key. I wonder what that means, the F key. Is that good or bad? Respect sent the clutch. I haven't received one of those. These are all new ones for me. I hate mammograms. Me too. That reminds me, I have to call they still haven't sent my orders that they were gonna send me in February for my August mammogram. I mean, I know it's not till the end of August, but if I don't get an appointment at least 60 days before, I won't be getting the appointment. Um, the GLHF. What is that one? Uh, the hearts. Thank you, Kathy X. Why would someone want to kidnap Nancy? That's a good question, but I think I know why. I think most of us know why. It's financially motivated. A Is that a clown hat? Which one is that? I gotta catch up. Party hat. Party hat. It's not my birthday, but thank you. Happy birthday. Thank you. It's not my birthday. Uh, I just got the Sunday. Oh, that sounds good. Haven't had a Sunday in years. Why did Savannah go back in the house? What are you talking about, Judy Winters? Judy Winters Warner. Welcome in. I don't know what you're talking about, Savannah going back in the house. Thank you for all those jewels. Telling you the pennies add up. You said she went back in. What are we talking about here? We talked about Savannah earlier. Somebody asked me, why did Savannah come to LA besides visiting Carson Daly on The Voice, which happened down the street from my house, but she was here for production meetings at NBC. And the reason for the kidnapping is either the Savannah factor or because it was somebody close to her. And that could be both. Usually things like this, these crimes are usually financially motivated. But she didn't go back to Tucson. She was in Los Angeles. I have a whole video about it yesterday. And over like 5,000 people have watched that video. I'm like, wow. I didn't think anybody would come and watch that one because it wasn't specifically just about Nancy. It was about Savannah, um, Savannah being out in LA. But let's see where is that video sitting right now? Because most people watch during the live and then they don't really come in. Yeah, 5,614 people saw that. Thank you, Lacey. Yeah, she had production meetings at NBC Universal about Wordle, which, as far as the plan goes, at least the original plan was is that they're going to film it in England, but that could always change. I must have missed something. You guys must be talking about something in the chat, and I haven't seen it. I heard somebody say read somebody say she's not a doctor, she's a nurse's aide. I don't know who we're talking about here. And I had not heard about Alex's daughter getting a threat. Oh, okay. Bemis says, oh, okay, Lacey, I didn't know what happened. I just saw a post where someone said Alex's daughter was threatened at her office. Oh, so she must be like a grown daughter. She is not, she is a doctor. I don't know anything else. And someone else says she's a nurse's aide. So that's who we're talking about. Okay. Why did Savannah go back to the house? She has not gone back to Arizona unless she stopped there. Another knucklehead. Goodbye. Um, Thank you, Lacey. She says, I like it here on your channel. Thank you. Okay, yeah, Alex's daughter, who we are talking about. Yes. Where are the videos from the roof camera? That's a good question. Where are they? Funny how when they, Pima County went to that house, they never even noticed that there was a roof camera until the neighbors talked about it like a couple of weeks later. Like, hey, did you get the camera on the roof? He's going live about it here soon. And yes, she has grown. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about it. If it's true, that's very sad. No matter what I think about him, like there's no excuse for that. Thanks for the gifted membership. You're welcome. You know what, Mama? You can see the new emojis that, it was supposed to be a simple task because I already had them pre-planned because I knew I was only like, what was it, 5 subscribers away or whatever I told you yesterday, or memberships away to get those additional emojis. But most of them wouldn't load last night because they wouldn't size properly. There you go. The palm tree, the camera, and the happy face. You're the best, April. And there's my little, that detective emoji. If I could get into the hair place and get my hair cut, that does actually look a lot like me. Except I haven't owned a trench coat since my mom bought me one as a child when we went to England. I know. Apparently they didn't see the front doormat right in front of the blood either, V-Miss. Or the frame that the Nest doorbell camera was sitting on. Yeah, we really invested this. Uh, we are really invested in this case, but never did they see the cameras on the roof. Schmeh. Good work, Pima County. I- It's almost comical if it wasn't such a sad thing, because I really do think that the first 24 to 48 hours on any type of case like this are the most important. And there's mistakes that can't be undone at this point. Did you see that JLR did a thing on his live and they collected 6K? I think maybe more for our friend's use as lawyers' fees. I did not see that, but someone in my chat yesterday told me about, I don't have the notes anymore, but it's something similar to GoFundMe. Uh, what is it called? Send Something Go? I don't remember, but I checked it out and I did confirm it with the juice, because a lot of these, he had warned people before, like on his channel, like, be careful where you give your money to because you don't know where that money's going. And so when you guys mentioned it last night that he's got something that's similar to a GoFundMe, that was started by his girlfriend Gabrielle, um, I did confirm with him personally that it's up and that is them. And that, because I know when this first happened, there were rumors that people were starting different types of collections that weren't going to the people they were supposed to be going to. So he said, always, if you decide, you don't have to send money, but if you do choose to send money, he said, always make sure that you confirm, because he's not responsible if somebody gets scammed and somebody sends money and he never receives a penny. So, but he did confirm that send something go. What is it called? I know he's raised over $10,000. His goal was 10,000, and he said it is still going to remain open. And I believe JLR had donated $500 of his own funds to that. Um, did anyone ever find out why the sister and her husband were in the house so long before calling 911? No, and there's a reason for that, Judy. And give, send, go. That's it, Waves. Thank you. Um, the reason is that Sheriff Nanos has given two different timelines, and they're very off. They're apples and oranges as far as when the lady from the church called the family, when the family got there, when the family called 911, how many minutes it took for the police to arrive. And we've never been given an exact time, but it sounds like it was multiple hours later, maybe, that Savannah was first contacted. And that raises some red flags for me. But we had a lot of misinformation and contradictory information that was put out by the sheriffs. Bemis is so happy for Juice. Yeah, me too. He's a good guy. I watched a little bit of him last night, but before he could open the phone lines, the last thing I heard before I started to fall asleep the first time was, I'm getting ready to open up the phone lines. But we had already spoken by text earlier that evening. It was late last night, but it was before he did his live. And he did verify that the Give, Send, Go, the one that is being collected by Gabriel Banks, that's his girlfriend. I guess she's also the mother of his children. Uh, that is a legit one. It did already reach their goal of 10 grand. He does not know how much the legal fees are going to cost. Originally, apparently, Exploring with Jim had got an attorney the day that these first arrests went down, who allegedly was pro bono, but there may be other attorneys that are going to have to come into this. But the criminal portions of these cases need to happen first to see how they play out in court, and then they can start throwing the civil lawyers into the ring. That's usually how it goes. It would be kind of out of order to hire the criminal or the civil attorneys now. Let's just see how the criminal stuff plays out. But yeah, he probably will be retaining, if he hasn't already, a civil attorney. And he hasn't said that because obviously he's not able to talk about the case. But the Give, Send, Go, the one that's for him, that's by Gabriel Banks, is a legit one. If you see anything else, be careful, because you're could be sending your money to a like a fake, account. Um, how are there multiple timelines from the sheriff? That's a terrific question, Jay. Calls to sheriffs are hard time to the systems. There's multiple timelines on this. Hello, handsome man from the land down under. Lies, lies, lies. Um, sometimes when you don't tell the truth, it is hard to keep the answers accurate because you're kind of making it up as you go along, and then you have to backtrack. And so that's something that'll come out in the trial if this case is ever prosecuted. We'll hopefully get a better idea of the timelines. In 948, no proof of garage entry. We only know the garage opens. True. What if Tommy and Nancy went through the gate and in the back door at 9:30? Then Nancy opens the garage at 10:48. Tommy gets in his car. We don't know that because the side cameras and the back cameras didn't show anything. But I'm sure there's things that the police or the FBI know that we don't know. I think they're going to make a movie about this. Hey, I was just talking to you about you. I mentioned something to you earlier, Sandra. You had been watching a ton of my videos last night and this morning on the replays, and I so much appreciate that. And you had mentioned something about you are a member, and unless you joined since I went on the air, because it just checked before I went on the air, you are a subscriber, my dear. But the membership, that is something separate. That's what people were, I was gifting them yesterday. And then other people started coming in going, well, that's very nice of you to give out free memberships. Can I have one? It doesn't work like that. YouTube only allows so much per month. And those that go out, um, it's a random, it's a random thing. Like I can't pick them. YouTube just picks them. So for all the people that were like, hey, you're such a nice person. And by the way, I want a free member ship. Now that to that guy that was asking for that last night, I can't do that. And none of my people could do that either. So it just doesn't work like that. Um, let's see. Hold on, everybody. Yeah, just making sure I didn't miss something. I was catching up on the desktop. Waves of salt. I agree. The AirTag and old truck are so interesting. Something weird going on. Maybe. Tommy had to turn around and go out of the driveway head first. What do I think about the Nancy Guthrie case? It's one of two things. Stack says, yep, the juice is awesome. I think he is. Uh, Jay says, so true. Lies get criminals off. Tyrone, everything I know who got the corona shots. Oh, no. Now you're going to talk about the government. That's too political for this chat. See you tomorrow, Tyrone. I shouldn't laugh at that, but handsome man says, if I find Nancy her body, can I substitute the 1.2 million for Nancy's home? Probably not. No problem, Jay. You just come in every day. That's what I need. Um, then Nancy closes the door at 9:50. There's an incline and Tommy backs into the garage, then leaves. Anything is possible. Um, oh, I'm glad you're telling me that, Lori. Found out in Arizona that you can't request a jury trial for a class 3 misdemeanor. We talked about that yesterday, what class it was of his charges. Now I don't remember which class of a misdemeanor it was. Because I said that, for something so small, you probably or you may not be able to request a jury. For things that are more serious, yes, but a lot of the smaller things in courthouses are just handled by judges. I don't think that has anything to do with this, Sandra. See, Savannah and her cousins play the game of kidnapping when she was a little girl. I think this concerns. That too. Not at all. I doubt it. Um, I want this case. Find her. Spirit, we're talking about Nancy Guthrie. But the top of this video was my speech about don't believe everything you read on Facebook, especially on a Facebook page called Nancy Guthrie Updates. And whoever this Terry Valco is, she doesn't have an effing clue what she's talking about when it comes to the operations of a licensed private investigator. Thank you for the red hearts. I don't know what you're talking about, Cosby. About a dog. I don't know what you're talking about. Thank you, Sandra. Did the Guthrie father do business with the Clintons? The Guthrie father has been deceased since Savannah Guthrie was 16 years old. So, don't think so. That would be Charles Guthrie Sr. He's been deceased since Savannah was 16, so he's probably been deceased since 1977, I would approximate. You did not mean that. Yeah, Charles Guthrie, he passed when Savannah was only 16. And Savannah's, I think, around 54 years old. So, you're talking about Savannah's husband. Now, that's a different story. See my suspect video. His name is Michael Feldman. But he is Michael Feldman is Savannah's husband, not Savannah's father. Oh, yeah, supposedly he's a Clinton cleaner. I agree, Kathy. She says the Clintons didn't kill her. Oh boy. What ranch? Um, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, Michael Feldman is Savannah's husband. And according to the internet, if you believe everything you hear on the internet, he may have been a Clinton cleanup man. Who owns a ranch, Sandra? Oh, make sure you guys, if you're coming in later to this and not earlier, you hear my speech about this Facebook page that's called Nancy Guthrie Updates. Almost everything I've seen on this page to date has been inaccurate, but yesterday, and I tried to educate this person in a polite way, and she still tried to roast me, saying that, I don't know what I'm talking about, without saying I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do. I am a licensed private investigator in California. California has, um, it's hard to pronounce, but a reciprocity with 5 other states. Those states would be Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, and Oregon. This is not a conversation about Bill Garcia, who is apparently licensed in California. I don't know anything about other places he may or may not be licensed. I don't care. It wasn't about him crossing into Arizona. The conversation was about putting misinformation on the internet because she got it from good sources like El Dorado Insurance. I won't say anything because I don't want to get sued by El Dorado Insurance. Martin Investigative Services. Who the F are they? And Diligenta Group. Never heard of them either. Other PIs in Cali that I know will say, well, if the pursuit initiates in California, you can do it. No, you can't. It's a crime. It's not a civil issue, it's a criminal issue. It's a crime. You will lose your license in California if you get caught attempting to do such thing. Do PIs do it all the time? Some do. I've been a PI for 42 years. Never broke that law. I don't break any laws. Rose Margaret, like I said earlier, I only listen to you because you get the facts. Yeah, I'm not gonna. And if I say something that's wrong, I'll come back on here later, or say it the next day, or put it in my pinned comments like, hey, there's a change here. There's a correction. Is Nanos an alien? He looks like so. He looks like an old man who should be retired, long retired by now. I guess he needs the money. That makes my mind go to dark rabbit holes. He should be enjoying his golden age in his retirement. Apparently, he's still in need of money. I can understand why there's rumors, and they're just rumors, of corruption within the Pima County Sheriff's Department. This crime scene was secured way too soon. Mama sees it all. JLR holding several protests in the police station parking lot, I believe, caused the sudden change in ordinance. Nanos retaliated for JLR yelling for Nanos to come out. Hadn't heard about that. Who do you think killed Savannah's mother? Well, I have a suspect that I think is either he's possibly front porch guy, and if he's not, he's still involved in this crime for sure. I've had that since the second week of February. I've talked to the FBI twice, to the call center, and those are not FBI agents, by the way. That's just call reps, and they don't know what they're doing for the most part. And I've sent an 8-page letter to the FBI. Have I heard back? No. I have consulted with a fellow Cali member, California Association of Licensed Investigators, who's a retired FBI who's not working on this case. I have since developed more information that I can't talk about here on who the getaway driver may be. I am not investigating this case. I do not have all the facts that the police and the FBI have, but I do have at least 2 people that are involved in this. And if anybody gets arrested on this case, I have to be very careful what I say because everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Just because somebody may get an arrest that's coming down their way does not mean that they're involved, does not mean that they are guilty. And I think because this is such a big case, they probably do know more than what they're telling us, and they're just trying to dot the I's and cross the T's. If this case just hedges on a single rootless hair, then we're all screwed because it's never going to be solved. I mean, there's a small chance, but hopefully they have a lot more and they're just waiting to make a move, especially the FBI. Thanks. Anything is possible. You don't know what you don't know. Exactly. Oh, good night, Jane Rice. Just wish I know how the FBI fits in because of, in my humble, or in my opinion, Nanos being handled by Kelly and Feldman. That's funny. We don't know that. We don't know. It's true the FBI does not take cases it cannot solve. I've actually worked on several cases in the PI industry that the LAPD and the FBI couldn't solve. But, as far as their federally filed cases that are official, yeah, they pretty much got you dead to right when they start investigating you. How many suspects? At least a minimum of 2, but there could be more. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 3 to 5 people involved in this, but I know of 2. There are people lying that's involved in this 3-ring circus. Absolutely, positively, that I can prove. There are people that have, made public statements and have lied. Joanne Wood says, "Family." That's still on the table. In 75 to 92% of cases, these crimes occur by someone close to you, such as a family member, a friend, a coworker, a healthcare worker, someone who could be a caregiver or a housekeeper or a landscaper or a pool man or a delivery person or even a contractor who may have come onto the property. Could also be affiliated with a close nearby neighbor. But there's definitely 2 for sure. And my question, now that I know who these 2 yahoos are, or I think I know, I'm not 100% because I'm not working the case. I don't have all the evidence in front of me. But I have 2 top suspects in mind that are involved. But are they just involved in their own little group, or are they working on behalf of somebody else? VMiss says, "I think it's crazy and extremely fishy." This is a weird one, isn't it, VMiss? From Pensacola, Florida, my old stomping ground when I was a child, especially in my teens. Dennis, Miss Cannon, have seen you before. Is it hot and humid in Pensacola right now, Dennis? Hello, Lucy. Welcome in. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the beginning of this, make sure you see the replay. If you want to see it with the chat, uh, you'll have to, wait until like tomorrow till the chat reloads. But yeah, listen to what I talk about. Be very careful of these Facebook pages. Also, be very careful, as the Juice said publicly on his channel, be very careful where you donate money if you think you're donating to help his cause or one of the other arrestees' causes. Make very sure that if you do send any type of monetary funds, that you have confirmed what's real and what's not real. It's very hot and humid. Okay. The Miss says, "Yes, I'm a huge true crime follower, and this is just bizarre." Yeah, and I do talk about other people. You know what? There's another thing that I have been following for years, and a lot of you might say this is not in the true crime category, but I think it is. Uh, is anybody here? I'm sure you guys, unless you're living under a rock, you are probably familiar with an older TV show that was on a cable network. I think it was TLC, same network that the Duggar family was on, called John and Kate Plus 8. I have followed that story from day one. And there was an announcement yesterday, and this is actually an official announcement by Colin Gosselin, that there is a book coming out, a tell all in regards to his specific situation regarding, being held a prisoner allegedly in his mother's basement and being institutionalized in a mental institution for 3 years and his whereabouts hidden from his bio father. Uh, his joining the Marines and then being suddenly kicked out of the Marines because his mother put information out there that got him kicked out of the Marines. Um, if some of the things that he's going to confess in the book are true, if if they are true, then Kate Gosselin could be facing criminal charges. And that's why anytime I talk about specifically Colin's situation, this could follow under the true crime category, although my channel is not a niche channel that's just about true crime. I am extremely interested in this book. I hope it comes out on audio just because I don't have time to read a book, but I could listen to it in the background. Whatever it costs, Colin, you've got my sale. It's only June, mid-June. The announcement has come out. I forget the day. It's somewhere in mid-October, I believe. But this young man, and if I hope it's a bestseller. I hope he makes millions. He deserves every single penny. Colin, I wrap my loving arms around you. Now, there's always two sides to every story. There may have been some discipline issues on his side, but this is huge because for the people that follow, these TLC families, especially like the Duggar family or John and Kate plus eight or Kate plus eight, this is huge. I have to take a user and put them in timeout. How are you so high in the air? That's a green screen. That's Nancy Guthrie's house in the background, JLE. The mom is a trip. Oh, you mean Kate Goslin? Peter, next door neighbor, deals in gems and coins. That weekend gem auction, he got 600,000. Some think they targeted the wrong house. Sounds far-fetched to me, but so do a lot of other things. It was definitely not a case of the wrong house being targeted. If that had happened, they would have realized that they had the wrong house and they would have left immediately and gotten the heck out of Dodge, and they certainly wouldn't have taken Nancy with them. Absolutely has nothing to do um, with the gym show or the gym guy next door, in my humble opinion. Yes, absolutely. I know of that case, and she does need to go to jail. At the very least, she should have had her kids taken away, but they're all grown up now. None of them are minors anymore. Good for Colin. You know what, Sandy? I know you didn't send a super chat, but I'm going to give Sandy the hype horn. Sandy, that is the best thing that I've heard all day on my channel or on this live. I've been on the air for 107 minutes and 28 seconds. Good for Colin. You know what? Time goes so by when you're old like me, especially with all these medical issues, except for when you're in the hospital and then time crawls, especially with lack of sleep. But before you know it, remember, in less than 2 weeks, we have, how many days is it? 11, like 2 weeks away, we have July 4th. Then in our town in LA, they'll start putting the Halloween stuff out on the shelves. And before Halloween occurs, they'll have the Christmas stuff for sale. Like, my phone's been blowing up with Halloween ads since April. I'm already hearing of certain events that are gonna occur in November. I know today, October seems far away, but between June and October will go by in a flash. I can't wait for October because I want that book. And I'm not a big book reader. I'm not stupid, but I just don't have time for books. I hope that it gets on some sort of audiobook or ebook. Colin, I support you 100%, young man. I'm very proud of you, Colin. And I think you're going to be very successful in whatever your future holds for you. To mistreat a child is criminal. Poor Colin. He has written a book. It's coming out in October. It was announced yesterday. And we will be going over this on my channel. We would, even if we are still talking about Nancy, God forbid she hasn't been found by October. Maybe she will be. Maybe they'll have an arrest by then, but there'll still have to be a trial. More information will come out. We will never stop talking about this. As long as there's something to report, we will never stop talking about Nancy Guthrie. But when that book comes out, we're going to be talking about it. And, some of you may not be interested in that, but there will be a lot of people who will be. I will, as long as I can physically do so, because I can't plan that far ahead with my health, I will be talking about this young man in this book. You don't lock children up. You don't put them away. She needs jail time. Could be. And it seems that many of the other children have been brainwash, but not all of them. And I do think in time, once these children are adults, they are adults now, but they're completely out of her radar, they may come around. Don't give up, Colin. Your siblings may come around. Sandy says, thank you. Well, you're welcome. I never could understand why she wouldn't just let him be with his father. Exactly. His father wasn't even allowed to know where he was. Yeah, before he was locked up in that institution in Philadelphia, he was supposedly chained in the basement, but I can't say that for sure. I don't want to accuse, you know, the mother of such a heinous crime if that's not true, but that's what I'm hearing, that he was locked in a basement and he may have been chained. I don't know. I can't confirm that. So it's speculative, as Sheriff Nanos would say. One of the daughters, yes, joined John and Colin. Yes. And John had a girlfriend at the time named Colleen, who Colin considers his real mom, although John recently got married to somebody else named Stephanie. I can't even imagine harming a child. Dennis, Miss Cannon from Pensacola, Florida says, my father is a fallen police officer, Toledo, Ohio, 9/18/1970, unsolved, William A. Miss Cannon. I am sorry, Dennis. Thank you for his service. Sue Brock Schmidt, I want to get Colin's book. Me too. The thing that makes me the saddest, even more than the mental institution, because maybe he was better off there than being with her, being locked in a basement, allegedly, speculatively. The thing that bothers me the most is that he wanted to grow up and serve his country, and the Marines actually accepted him. He passed all the backgrounds. He was just starting his training as a Marine, and it was his lifelong dream to serve our country. And when all this dirty laundry started coming out in the press that was put out there by Kate Gosselin, his mother, the Marines suddenly went, you know what? We're releasing you. And he didn't do anything wrong. They just decided that they hadn't vetted him enough and that, maybe they made a mistake and he wasn't going to fit into the program. And I think the Marines would have been the best thing that could have ever happened to that young man. And, you know, now he's like, now what do I do? Like, he signed up for school, but he's like, what do I do? Like, he had all of his eggs in that basket, and, I know what that feels like because I wanted to be a police officer, specifically a police officer with LAPD, climb my way up the ladder, become a detective, focus on the narcotics, undercover unit. There was a program that the sheriff's department had at the time called the LA School By program, and I was like, that would be right up my alley because I look so young. I could do that. Thank you for the makeup brush. Respect importance. Thank you so much. And it just he should be in the Marines right now, and he's not because of his mother. Thank you. For the flow state, I gotta see the name after it disappears off the bottom of my screen. Country Roads with Michelle. When I get the more expensive ones, they're like they take up the whole chat screen. Respect importance. Woot woot. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I did hear that yesterday, and like I said, it's not necessarily true crime, although it might be if he was really restrained against his will in the basement and locked in a basement. Um, East Coaster, we're gonna have to put you in a 24-hour timeout. Uh, Taken care of, Bemis. So yeah, I will be reporting on that because I that's a story like this story I followed from day one. When this was released that Nancy Guthrie was missing on Sunday night, February 1st, when it was released to the press, I've been following it since then. And they didn't even call it a kidnapping then because they didn't know yet. It was just considered a missing senior. But I was like, oh my God, the 84-year-old mom of Savannah Guthrie, she's probably been kidnapped. Like, and then the ransom started showing up. I mean, I had the exact same reaction that Cameron Guthrie had. And my head immediately went to Savannah, and that's because of my experience as a Hollywood PI and seeing how celebrities or their families are always targeted, and specifically, usually for money. Sometimes it can be, like a stalker who is wishing for romance. It could be something like that. Somebody infatuated with Savannah and they can't get to her because of her security, and so therefore they would do the next closest thing and go to a family member. But most of it is financially related. Or it could have nothing to do with, Savannah. But if it's, like, somebody close to her that's targeting her for money, of course they know she's the mother of Savannah Guthrie, and Savannah's got money, and she could pay the ransom. But you can't pay the ransom when you don't have proof of life. So, if it was intended as a kidnapping for ransom, if that's what the original intent was, they messed up. Didn't go very well, did it? Rose Margaret, I gotta, good day, good night. So tired. Bye, April, Kathy, and chat. Take care. Thank you, Rose. Thanks for coming. I'm gonna get off soon. I gotta go eat. I tried to sleep in since I didn't sleep well last night, but the cat just won't allow it. Then it's a good thing because I gotta get up and clean her box and clean the rabbit's litter and give her her afternoon snack before she conks out for the afternoon before she wakes up for dinner. So had to get my butt out of bed. And then, I had to deal with this garbage on Facebook. And I'm not trying to pick on this woman, Terry Valco, but if you're gonna go out and make a public statement for millions of people, probably over 1 billion Facebook users to read. I'm sure there's not that many following this specific page, but make sure you know what you're talking about when you try to quote the difference between private investigators versus law enforcement and you think you know what PIs do. And obviously, you have your head up your rear end, especially when someone tries to, in a professional, polite way, educate you, and you still, she will die on the cross that PIs can cross state lines. And absolutely, that is not the case. Even with the res reciprocity, I have such a problem with that word. Um, Even with that, it's extremely limited, and in most cases, advance permission in writing has to be granted, and sometimes temporary licenses have to be taken out, and that's even with the states that you have reciprocity with. And by the way, Arizona is not one of those states. Now, could Bill Garcia have crossed in legally? Sure, he could be licensed in Arizona, or he may have had advance written permission with a non reciprocity state. Um, hey, Kelly Ray, welcome back. Where have you been, my friend? I missed you. Kentucky says Nancy never left the property. Uh, what am I being thanked for, Sue? You're welcome, though. Hey, Peggy. So, yeah, if you haven't seen the beginning of this, please listen to this. And I'm glad I remembered at the very last minute of this video to throw in that information about poor Colin Gosselin. You know what? I would love to adopt him. I know he's got a relationship though with Colleen, who is John's ex-girlfriend that really helped him out and helped raise him when he finally went to go live with John. Thank God for Colleen, whoever you are. Thank God, but I support you 100%, Colin Gosselin, and I do hope that someday your siblings, not all of them, but most of them that have had their minds poisoned, um, They've been brainwashed. I hope that they have enough common sense, even though they're all most of them are getting educated and getting college degrees. I hope they have enough common sense to finally come around and just see the truth. Oh, we are friends, Sue Brock, especially the Sues. Sue Brock Schmidt in Michigan, my friend Sassy Granny, who is a Sioux in upstate New York, and my big, big channel contributor, Sue M, or Susan M in Massachusetts, and my Suzannes, and my Kellys, and my Kathys, and my Karens. Everybody. I'm trying my best to keep you all straight. So I hope you're feeling better, Kelly. That's a good question because I didn't do my weekly shopping yet because I'm still trying to recover from the financial shock of that one bag of groceries. Hopefully, I can find something in the freezer. It will mean I'm going to have to turn on my oven soon and heat up the apartment, but um, I hate to turn on the oven. We have a heat warning coming, so not for today though. So I guess I better eat up what's in the freezer before there's going to come a time in the year where I just won't be able to turn on the freezer anymore. Now, had I got over to the mailbox today, had I slept better and got at least some of the gifts picked up, I would have been able to use that DoorDash card because I have to have the physical card to put it into my phone. Then I would have ordered something um, using the card. Pizza from the grocery store. That's what I had last night, but I got the wrong one. That was when I had that $50 shopping trip, just to buy one bag, and it has garlic in it, and that's really, really toxic to my stomach. But I have a little bit of that left, and I think there might be some frozen, can I speak? Frozen fish, um, fillets in there, frozen. But that will heat up the apartment. Now, I could go for that, turkey on a wrap. I could definitely go for that. Mama sees it all. Big City Dan YouTube channel said Nancy never took her meds. They were still in the kitchen, which he believes indicates she may have never come home. Have you heard this? Yes, I have. And I've heard two different versions of that story, Mama. I have seen that or heard that she kept all of her pill bottles in the kitchen on the kitchen counter lined up, and they were not taken when she was taken. But they've also claimed that she may not have actually taken her medication, like the dose, on Saturday evening when she was allegedly returned by Tommaso or Tomato, Tommy, whatever you want to call him. Did she actually have one of those pill cases that has the days of the weeks in the morning and the PM pills, the AM and the PM, in addition to the bottles lined up? I don't know how they have confirmed that she may not have taken the actual dose. I know they didn't take the medication bottles, but there's no proof that she didn't take her medication. Um, yeah, we are talking about groceries because it's 124 minutes into it and it's day number 139. So we do talk about other things. Go watch somebody else. Um, and I'm not trying to delete the message. Dang it. I'm trying to put you in a timeout. Yeah, I can only talk till I'm blue in the face, about Nancy. Hey, Doug, I'm getting ready to get off the air. But thank you. It's 125 minutes later. I only plan to come on for 30 minutes. Thank you for the $9 in super chats and the $2.20 in jewels. to all who contributed. Once again, if somebody wants to become a channel member, if I get just one more, then I can have the 10 emojis instead of now I have the 9. I was able to upgrade from the 4 to the 9 yesterday because of not only the gifted memberships, but the purchase memberships that happened yesterday, and the not only the free ones, but the purchase ones. There was quite a bit. There was like 12, and that gave me enough leeway with YouTube to be able to release the additional 5. And they're not perfect because many of the ones that I wanted to put in wouldn't work in the system because the ratio was off or some dang thing. And at 3 a.m. it's just very, very hard to figure what all that means. So thank you, Joanne. So okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming. Hopefully, I'll get some more rest. I will try to get to that mailbox tomorrow and pick up those gifts from the wish list. So, for all of those that have sent, I don't have them yet, but I should have them tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. Good night.